Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Nadeem Ahmed Ghunio, and today, welcome back to our lecture classes on Islamiat subject of class first year. Today, our topic is Islamic creed. That is the second topic of chapter number 1. So, dear students, these are the learning objectives that you will find in this lecture. Students will be able to know the fundamental creeds of Islam. They will also be able to know the Quranic verses that talk about fundamental creeds of Islam. Students will be able to know the need and importance of true belief. And in last but not least, students will also be able to know all aspects and impacts of Islamic creeds on human life and society. So these are the learning objectives of today's lecture. Before proceeding, let me revise whatever we studied in our previous lecture. The previous lecture was about Introduction to Islam, in which we studied about the definition of Islam, the literal meaning of Islam. And today, with connection to the previous topic, we are going ahead with the topic of Islamic creeds. First of all, let us understand the sense of Aqidah, or what we call creed in English language. Dear students, the root of the word Aqidah is Aqd, which means that this word Aqidah has been taken from word Aqd. And what does Aqd mean? It means to bind with a knot, either fasten tightly. When we fasten, for suppose, when we are driving a car, what we call that, Baba, fasten your seat belts tightly. It means, Aqd means you bind anything with a knot. This is what Aqd means. While word etiqad, that is also related to that word, it means to certify anything with profound faith, and one has to adopt it as a religious creed. So dear students, etiqad actually means that is related to the religious belief, religious creed. That when we talk about etiqad, means I have etiqad, I have belief, I have firm belief, I have a religious creed that there is no God but Allah. So this is what we call etiqad, that I am certifying the existence of Almighty Allah, the unicity of Almighty Allah, when I testify that there is no God except Allah. So this is what we certify. So etiqad means a certification. You are certificating anything, you are certifying anything, and it becomes a religious creed. So from above, it has become clear enough that Aqidah or creed enfolds all those views which are firm, unshakable, and unbreakable. So this is what a real Aqidah means. Dear students, Aqidah actually enfolds the views or the thoughts which must be firm, unshakable, unbreakable. For suppose we believe in the existence of Almighty Allah. So believing in Almighty Allah must be firm, unshakable, and unbreakable. This is what the essence of belief. This is what the reality of creed that one has to adopt. So after this, let us have some other words which are used in Quran and Hadith to the similar meaning of Aqidah and Etiqad. Means these two, besides Aqidah and Etiqad, these two Islamic terminologies are used as the synonyms of Aqidah and Etiqad in the teachings of Holy Quran and Hadith Nabawi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The first thing is Iman. Iman basically means to authenticate anything by heart. What we say that وَتَصْدِيقٌ بِالْقَلْبِ. In Arabic, this is actually you are assuring that you believe in anything by heart. You authenticate any belief by heart. This is what we call Iman. It is all about the inner point of views from your heart, that you have faith in Islamic creeds. This is what Iman is called. Then in other Islamic terminology that is used as the similar meaning of the Aqidah and Etiqad, it is Iqan. Iqan means to have profound belief in anything, and evidently this sort of belief can only be had with a perfect conviction of heart and mind. So now here both heart and mind are concerned. Means, as we say that ikrarum bil lisan, we pronounce anything, any belief with the tongue, and then tasdeequm bil qalb, and then we assure it with our heart, and we authenticate it by heart. This is what we call the Iqan. So these two Islamic terminologies are used as the synonyms of Aqidah and Etiqad in the teachings of glorious Quran and Hadith. Then let's try to understand these Islamic creeds in the light of Quranic verses. For this I have quoted two verses, or the part of two verses of glorious Quran from Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah number 2 and ayah number 177. So this ayah says, لَيْسَ الْبِرَّ أَن تُوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ قِبَلَ الْمَشْرِقِ وَالْمَغْرِبِ وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ مَنْ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَالْمَلَائِكَةِ وَالْكِتَابِ وَالنَّبِيِّينَ. Let's have the first translation of this. Righteousness is not that you turn your faces toward east or west, but the true righteousness is in one who believes in Allah, the last day, the angels, the book, and the prophets of Almighty Allah. So this ayah of Quran says that this is not the righteousness that you turn your faces toward east or west. What does it say? Qibal al-mashriq wal-maghrib. This is not the only righteousness. وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ, but al-bir, this is also known as the ayat bir. Al-bir, the true righteousness is in one who believes in Allah. This is what the amana billah, believe in the unicity of Almighty Allah, believe in the existence of Almighty Allah. Amana billah, that I have believed, I testify that there is no God except Allah. I testify that He is supreme being. This is what one has to believe. Then the second one is wal yawmil akhir, that you have to believe in the day of judgment, the doomsday. You have to believe the life that has to come after death. Then, in the Islamic creeds, we have to believe in the holy angels of Almighty Allah. We have to believe all the angels of Almighty Allah. We must have the firm belief in these things. Then wal kitab, this is what the religious books, the holy books, which were revealed on the prophets of Almighty Allah, such as Quran, Injil, Zabur, Torah. On these books are Suhuf Ibrahim. On such revelations we have to believe. And then one Nabiyyin, and you have to believe in the prophets of Almighty Allah. that these prophets were sent by Almighty Allah to guide humanity. We have to believe in it. But when we talk about another ayah of this surah Al-Baqarah, that is ayah number 285, it clarifies it more. It says that آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله والملائكة وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. The messenger has believed in what was revealed to him from his Lord, and so have the believers. All of them have believed in Allah and His angels and His books and His messengers, and they say, we make no distinction between any of His messengers, and they say, we hear and we obey. We seek your forgiveness, our Lord Almighty, and to you is the final destination. Dear students, this ayah of glorious Quran tells you about Islamic creeds, which are the fundamental creeds in Islam, that Aman Rasul Bima Unzil. So very first point is that a prophet himself first believes on the revelation of Almighty Allah that is revealed on him. This is the very beginning, this is the very first point, that prophet himself has to have faith in the revelation of Almighty Allah. This is the first point, that Aman al-Rasul bima unzila ilayhi min rabbihi. Prophets also do believe in what which is revealed to them by their Lord Almighty Allah. Then of course, wal mu'minun, the believers do have also belief in it. So whatever the Prophet, peace be upon him, preached them, whatever the guidance, whatever the commandments of Almighty Allah are there, which are taught to the people through peace be upon him, through Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, then those believers have also belief in these things. And they say, Kullu amana billahi wa malaikatihi. So all of them have believed. What does it mean? Kullu amana billahi. All of them means believers, all the prophets of Almighty Allah. Amana billahi wa malaikatihi. All of them have believed in Allah. All of them have believed in the existence of Almighty Allah. This is the gateway to Islam, that you have to believe in the existence of Almighty Allah. Wa malaikatihi, and His angels. He actually, this shows, this relates to Almighty Allah. That these angels, these holy angels are also of Almighty Allah. That you have to believe in the angels of Almighty Allah. Wa kutubihi, the holy books, which I have just discussed with you. Wa rusulihi, and all the apostles of Almighty Allah, you have to believe. And this is very much important clause of this ayah, that la nufarriqu bayna ahadin min rusulihi. And these believers means we do not make any distinction between any of the prophet of Almighty Allah. A believer does not make any distinction that they were all the prophets of Almighty Allah, whom the religious guidance was revealed on them by Almighty Allah through Angel Jibreel. And this is what the state of the believer, this is what the condition of believer at that time, when they said that, Papa, we do not have any distinction in believing any of the prophet of Almighty Allah. And they say, Waqalu, and they say, Sami'na wa ata'ana. Whatever we hear, we obey. They do not have any problem in accepting the religion of Islam, the teachings of Islam. They just say this is the status of believer, that they hear and they obey. Ghufranaka Rabbana wa ilaykal masir. And these believers seek the forgiveness of Almighty Allah, and this is what our destination. We are going to beg Almighty Allah a day. That is what we already discussed, that you have to believe in the day of judgment. That was discussed in the previous ayah. So my dear students, this is all about the basics of Islamic creeds. These are the fundamental creeds of Islam, as it is the introductory lecture on this topic. So inshallah ta'ala, in our upcoming lectures we will discuss on these creeds of Islam one by one in detail, as you could understand them properly. Thank you very much. Jazakumullahu khaira.